Speaker, and I want to thank the cross-party members, including my party colleague Dolores Kelly, for bringing this important motion before us today. And I want to begin my comments by paying tribute to the family of Pat Finucane, who, led with such dignity by his wife Geraldine, have been campaigning in the face of obstruction for truth following the brutal murder of Pat in 1989. Pat Finucane was having Sunday lunch with his family in North Belfast when he was murdered in front of his children. His wife left without her soulmate, his children left without their father, and this family have not only had to struggle with the pain and trauma of this horrific act which they were forced to witness, they have had to battle, and they continue to battle, for the truth. This murder and the ongoing failure by the British government to honour the commitment it made to the Finucane family is shameful. Yesterday, Mr. Speaker, I stood here in this spot speaking about the Ballymurphy families. Today, I stand speaking about the Finucane family.
Will the member give way?
Yes.
I thank the member for giving way, but will the member address Mr. Frew's point? This should never be about one family over another.
The member has an extra minute.
I absolutely would, and while yesterday I stood speaking about the Ballymurphy families and today it's the Finucane family, the truth is I could stand here every day talking about the many, many families who have been denied and continue to be denied truth and justice for the lives of their loved ones, stolen by state or paramilitary violence. Last year, the SDLP leader Colin Eastwood stood in the House of Commons and pressed the British government to act in the case of Pat Finucane. In calling it out, Colin Eastwood said, "It means that a previous British government murdered a human rights lawyer in Belfast in front of his family, and they have denied every single opportunity to give the family what they absolutely deserve, which is the full truth in the matter." In the words of the former British Prime Minister David Cameron, there were shocking levels of collusion involved in what happened to Pat Finucane. Shocking levels of collusion. The truth is that the British state murdered Pat Finucane, a loving husband and father from North Belfast. The British state murdered a human rights lawyer in Belfast and by extension attacked the justice system in Northern Ireland. The British state murdered him in front of his young family. And consecutive British governments have denied Geraldine Finucane and her family access to the truth and justice they deserve. Mr. Speaker, the question here today is, what is the British government going to do about it? When is it going to honour the commitments and agreements it has made? For all of our differences in this place, we all know that victims right across our society have been shamefully treated. We know that this British government would prefer that it is all swept under the carpet. Well, there can be no amnesty for perpetrators of violence from wherever they come. Victims, all victims, deserve that legacy is once and for all dealt with, and that means getting at the truth. If we do not deal with this properly, if we do not establish the mechanisms to access the truth, then we will deny current and future generations a way forward. The only way forward is through access to truth, justice and accountability. Therefore, today, we must unite and send a clear message that no one can be denied the truth. We in this place have a responsibility to seek and expose the truth, and we have a responsibility to all victims to support them to get the truth, to get justice. For the Finucane family, that means ensuring they get the full public inquiry they were promised back in 2001. The British government cannot and must not be allowed to cover up this murder. The British government cannot and must not be allowed to treat the Finucane family or any family with such contempt as it has for so many years. Without the truth, we simply cannot heal. Anyone who has met with and listened to victims will know that pain and grief is compounded by the trauma and hardship of being denied access to the truth. Mr. Speaker, in closing, I want to say very clearly to the British government, if they take the same approach to legacy as they have with Pat Finucane's case, and that is to lie, to deny and cover up the truth, let me be clear, they will not have the support of the SDLP in making their legislation. We want to get to the truth, and while we will always work to access the truth, we will not accept less than what victims deserve. We need to get back to Stormont House. We need to deal with the past with full judicial power. If we do not only will victims of our past be failed, but future generations will be infected by the hurt and the pain of our conflict.